So here's a t-chart of x and y values. Y'all plot those dots on here real quick, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So just plot the dots super quick, and we'll move on. Function, draw a little swirl, and then go ahead and connect your branches. Do not forget to put arrows at the end of your graph. So cubic functions do not have a vertex, but they have a point of inflection. That's where the curviness appears. So it also changes direction. So it does behave like HK. So guys, we're going to write 0, 0. For HK, which is the point of inflection. And guys, anytime you have an origin for your vertex or your HK, that is your X and Y intercept at the exact same time. One more thing, guys, on your test and quiz for this module, domain and range are freebies. It is always the same answer, no matter what. Domain is always negative infinity to positive infinity, and so is your range. So on Friday, when I ask you what the domain and range are, it's always negative infinity to positive infinity. That graph, you have what we have here, which is general form. And guys, this is the same thing as transformation form. You should know what all these letters are. This is going to go in your sketch notes, by the way, so grab your sketch notes. Grab your sketch notes and write down that equation. I don't care if you write the word general form or not. That doesn't matter to me. Just writing the equation matters. The first thing that we're going to talk about is we are going to talk about the letter H. Now remember, the letter H is your horizontal transformation. Actually, I'm going to call this horizontal translation because it's a sideways slide. And guys, you know this, we're just reviewing. So remember, H is a horizontal translation from the vertex, from the origin, from HK in the parent function. And remember, H is opposite in the equation. You always have to change the sign in the equation for the letter H. And then at the end of that transformation is K. You guys know K. It's a vertical translation. Vertical translation. And then the next thing we need to talk about is the letter A. Now remember, if A is greater than 1, remember it's a stretch. Now, if A is less than 1, but greater than 0, like a fraction, remember it's a compression. So if A is a fraction, it's a compression. Also, guys, when A is negative, this is a vertical reflection. So sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when a cubic graph has been reflected upside down because it's not like a U shape like a parabola. So right here, reflections will always be down on the right side, like this. Let me show you. I'm going to sketch an X and Y axis here. I know for sure that's a vertical reflection because it's down, it has a down arrow on the right side of the graph. The right side of the graph has to be pointing down for it to be a vertical reflection. Make sure you guys remember that. Here's where it's down on the right side. Remember, domain and range, those were freebies. What are you always going to write for domain and range? Yes, good. Just get those right. Get those free points, y'all. Get those free points. All right, so we have 4 examples here, A, B, C, and D. Which letter has the parentheses, A, B, C, or D? Which letter? Letter A. This is the only place where H occurs. This is the only one that has an H value. I know it has an H value because it has parentheses. You just have to remember its opposite. So if that's a -2, that means that this is going to be 2 places to the right. So this cubic function has shifted 2 places to the right from the origin. So if I try to graph it right here, I would just move 2 places to the right. So that would look something like that. That would match that. 2 places to the right. What's the transformation for letter B? There's no parentheses, so it's not sideways. It has to be either up or down. Is it 2 places up or 2 places down? It is down. Good job. Remember the K value you keep. So if I try to graph B, it would be 2 places down. So B would be like just right below the origin. It's 2 places below the origin. Y'all, letter C has 2 transformations. Do you know what they are? A compression and what else? Vertical reflection. Very good. How do you know it was a vertical reflection? Yes. Now remember, sometimes I ask you, not a lot, but sometimes I might ask you the compression is by a factor of. And remember, it's just a number. Don't write negatives because negative belong to the vertical reflection. So this is by a factor of 2. 1/2. It's by a factor of 1/2. And then what about the very last one? There's only 1 transformation, y'all. Just 1. That A value is greater than 1. What does that mean? Yes, it's a stretch by a factor of just a 2. That's it. Okay, guys. So will you please very quickly find that? It's at the bottom of the page. I'm going to do 1 graph with you. I'll do more graphs with you tomorrow, but I need to get to some other stuff. We're going to graph this transformed cubic function. I know that this cubic function has gone 2 places to the left of the origin, and I know that it's gone 1 place down from the origin. So 2 places to the left and 1 down. I know my point of inflection is right there. So I know HK, it's right there in the equation, -2, -1. Let's go on the blanks first before we graph it. Let's talk about the Y-intercept. The Y-intercept, y'all could have plotted the Y-intercept on this. However, on Friday, what's going on Friday?
Quiz.
Yeah, I'm giving you a question where I'm asking you to find the Y-intercept and you cannot use the graph. Do you guys remember what to do with the equation? Plug in 0. Good. For what letter? Yes. All of you guys write that down in your sketch notes. Because I know you forgot. Some of us forgot. Everybody write that down. I'm checking that on your sketch notes. How do you find the Y-intercept in the equation? What do you do? Plug in X for 0. Yeah. So if I plug this in, it's going to be 0 plus 2. Don't forget it's cubed, bless you. Write that on your stations and hop back over to your tablet. Y'all, we have so got to remember order of operations. So 0 plus 2, that's just a 2 in the parentheses. You do the parentheses first. Y'all know what 2 to the third power is? 8. Good. All of you have to memorize that. That comes all the time. That pops up all the time. So that's going to be 8 minus 1. So we know that the y-intercept is 0, 7. And that's graphable, but on Friday, it won't be. You've got to make sure you remember this process. That's why it must be on your sketch notes. Domain and range, there's your free points. What do you always write for domain and range? Yes. Y'all go ahead and fill in these. Good. Okay, so let's talk about the movement chart. Let me get this out of the way. My work from finding the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to draw a movement chart. And remember, this movement is always from the vertex, which is HK, the point of inflection. We're going to plug in some sideways movements. Positive numbers are to the right, negative numbers are to the left of the vertex of HK. And then we got to do some work in the middle, and that's going to tell me how many places to go up or how many places to go down. And remember, what goes in that middle column is the A value. It's going to be A times our sideways movement to the third power, because we're dealing with cubes in this unit. Y'all, what is the A value? It's not, there's not a number there. What's it understood to be? It's 1. Good. So if the A value is 1, I don't even need that. I'm just erasing it. All right, so here we go. What we're going to do is we are going to, from the origin, from HK, from this point right here, let's go 1 place to the right. Y'all, what's 1 to the third power? What's 1 to the third power? What's 1 to the third power? Thank you, 1. So, I'm sorry if you said that earlier. I did not hear you. So you're going to go 1 place to the right, go 1 place up, and put a dot. So there's one of the ordered pairs. Let's go back to HK. Let's go 2 places to the right. Let's go 2 places to the right. Y'all, what's 2 to the third power again? So from HK, go 2 places to the right, then climb up 8 spots. Where do you land? Oh, the y-intercept. You already had that. You know you're on the right track. This is a 100 for this question right now. We are so confident on this. All right, let's move to the left. So for the left, remember your numbers are negative. We're going to go 1 place to the left from HK. So guys, we have to cube negative 1. Y'all, what's negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1? Negative 1. Good job. All right. So we're going to go 1 place to the left and then 1 place down. And then, y'all, let's go 2 places to the left. So let's wrap this up with a negative 2. And then what is negative 2 to the third power? Not a positive 8. Negative 8. Guys, go back to HK. Go 2 places to the left, and then go 8 places down. You should land on the 9 down there, the negative 9. Y'all, draw your curve. Draw your curviness on HK. That's baby stuff. When I grade your quiz, I expect all you guys to be able to graph that. You're in the spring semester of Algebra 2. You're going to be able to graph that. Here's where the kicker comes in, and this is what I want to talk to you about. Find problem 5. You're going to have to flip a couple of pages. On problem 5, you're going to have 4 steps. On problem 5, step 1 is to find HK. Step 2 is just to find some other point on the graph. Call it XY. Step 3 is to solve for A. Step 4 is to finally write the equation. Okay, so what we're going to do now is get that out of the way. Okay, so let's just plug in everything. So we know that HK is right here. So I know that HK is 1, 3. The regular point on the graph XY, that is going to be 2, 6. So now I'm at this point right here where we're going to solve for A. So remember, the equation is y equals a x minus h to the third power plus k. We're going to plug in everything we know. We know that the y value is going to be this 6 right here. I don't know the letter A, but I do know h and k. I know that h and k are right here. So the h value is a positive 1. We're going to write negative 1 over there. My x value is a positive 2. We do never ever change the value of the x. And then the k value is right here, plus 3. Now remember, 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 to the third power, that's just going to be a 1. And 1 times a is just a. So my a value, remember, if I subtract 3 from both sides, a is going to equal a 3. So now that I have the a value of 3, all I have to do is plug it back into the equation. So, speaking of the equation, which is this right here, the only letters you can ever have when you write an equation are the letters x and the letters y. Everything else has to be a number. And we have everything we need. So we're going to go ahead and write this equation. It is going to be, it is going to be y equals, remember the a was 3, opposite of the h value, we have to write minus 1. Don't forget it's cubed, plus 3.